girls are so ratchet and they're so loud and blah blah. And I remember watching it, and actually the black girls or the darker skinned girls were sitting on the side, and they were quiet, and it was the lighties that were sitting there shouting. Do you know what I mean? So it literally is something that, and not saying that it's a problem, because anyone can shout if they want to, but it's the problem that darker skin or black girls have that connotation or that they are rowdy ones, when sometimes they're not even being rowdy. Actually, look at the other people. They're the ones that are being rowdy. So mine is about the characteristic. But that being said, if it's like, even if it's like something about you prefer a lighter skin, like it could be like you said, like all you've known is white people, so that's just what your brain has been accustomed to like or prefer. But you should also always acknowledge and appreciate the beauty in every race, I think.
My thing is, I don't mind you having a preference.
Yes, but
just don't bash another.
That's
just don't bash another race.
Exactly.
So I am pro-black.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I hate white people, Mexicans. I think there are beautiful Mexicans, white people all over the world. But I'm pro-black.
Pro-black, yeah.
That's it. It doesn't mean that I have to, this person is this or that race is that.
No,
and
I love my people.
I mean, it proper bugs me when I see black people who
hate their people.
Yeah, I just think, what are you doing? Like, you're black yourself.
Yeah.
When you look in the mirror, your mum has got nappy hair. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, it's those people that I think like
frustrate me.
It's either you're doing it for attention, you have identity issues, or you don't love yourself.
Do you know, this is so weird. I was having a conversation with a colleague of mine at work the other day, and I started deeping, because I feel like, and I never ever thought that I was this person, but I started deeping that's actually where I came from. But I feel like when I was in school, I never ever wanted to be a part of the black group because I didn't want to fit into that stereotype. So I tried my hardest, I didn't even deep it, tried my hardest not to be that typical black girl. But
which is a made-up thing.
Which is a made-up thing, but there were so many tendencies and things that I did that actually would just put me in that category anyway, but I fought them. Does that make sense? Like, I actually genuinely fought them. And I do think, like you said, going back to it, it goes from an issue of not fitting in. And as you said, I was like, yeah, I hear that, because it probably was at the fact that I didn't want to be a part of that, so I tried so hard to be that, so I stripped away the tendencies and the things that I have of myself that associate me with a certain characteristic or a certain stereotype, that I actually at times thought that I wasn't that kind of girl. Then I got into uni and I realised now it's an equal playing field. You literally, what will come to you is what you are, if that makes sense. And then I found myself in a place that surrounded me. I was surrounded by black people, and that was my comfort. I don't necessarily think that that's right. I just think it's about comfort as well, because there are some people that would fight and argue and say that actually I want my child to not see race. I want my child, and you're fine to do that. I want my child to not see race. I want my child to open her eyes and see a white man and see a black man and not even think of race. So I don't want to be with somebody who's black just because I want to expand my child's eyes in that way. And there's nothing wrong with that. The same way, there's certain people that they want to raise their children in a race which is just theirs, their own. But one would say that, is that just comfort? Are you too scared? Because the only reasons that someone will say is because it can be too difficult, it can be this, and they won't understand. But then that goes down to the fact that you just need something familiar to fall back on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah. Basically, I feel you can fall in love with whoever you want to fall in love with. This whole, it has to be this, or it has to be that. It's nonsense. But I do understand why people say stick to your own.
Yes, I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of those.
I definitely understand why. It just makes it more complicated if someone is from two different races, or I won't even say races, culture. So, obviously I'm from Nigeria. Obviously you've got a little bit of Trini in that.
Oh my days, this Trini of yours.
Man's quartered Trini. Why are you? I'm quartered Trini. Man.
I'm actually a quarter. I'm an eighth.
You need to face.
No, I'm an eighth. I'm an eighth Ivorian.
Actually, no. Your dad told me that still. I allow you. But you can't dance like that.
Shit, yeah, see me, right?
No. But what I'm saying is, I understand. I get it. I'm from Nigeria. My missus is from Ghana. Our cultures are kind of similar, but a little bit different. And I couldn't see myself being with someone outside of West Africa purely based on culture. But on the flip side, if I met someone from a different culture or race who was willing to embrace my culture, like I was willing to embrace theirs, then there would be no problem. But there are some people, it's like, what I know is what I know, and I'm not trying to say that's everybody, because there are people, you get white people who get with Nigerians or Ghanaians or whatever, who proper embrace the culture and can speak the language.
I think it falls down to comfort as well, because one thing I will say is your household, you've been, because I feel like although you've been raised in a black community, your household is very accepting of so many different cultures, if that makes sense. So I feel like and then you've been born and raised in this church, and around you is Ghanaians. So as much as someone like me, I would actually say a Nigerian is completely out of my comfort, as much as you see it kind of in your comfort, because it's your west, it's west, but actually it probably just is your familiar ground. And that's the same with a white person who's grown up in front of white people. It's just the fact that I do understand them. Actually, I do get their culture and so forth, if you know what I mean. And then you were lucky enough to find a girl who is willing to accept that culture. So I do think sometimes we play it off a bit like it's easier, but I think it's also about just what you yourself are accustomed to, and what is common and familiar to you, as opposed to what is common and familiar for the generic mass, if you know what I mean. But at the same time, it's easier, bruv. Let's not lie. If even you can say, if you married a Nigerian, would it be easier? Actually, yeah, that's the question I asked you. If you married a Nigerian, do you think it would be easier?
In terms of like traditional weddings?
Just in terms of right now, you're going through the wedding process. They're going through things. You're going through, obviously. Do you think, not saying because it probably would have been easier with loads of factors. But do you think it could have been easier if you married a Nigerian? I know that's not what you want, but
I don't know if easier is the right word. Obviously, they would know. Basically, there'll be less explanations.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't say it's easier. But there'll be less explanations as to why we are doing this. Are we doing this because, and so forth. But obviously, growing up around a lot of Ghanaians, I won't say I know everything, but I know a little bit more. Obviously, she's got Nigerian friends, so she's clued up with the culture. But then there are certain things she knows what I want. But yeah, so we go. Just to conclude on that, I think self-love and identity issues are big reasons as to why people hate their own race. Once they kind of work on those issues, then I think they'll be more open to dating people within themselves. Like, you would date someone who looks exactly like you. You've got nappy hair, you've got curly hair, you've got whatever. Like, you would be willing to date whoever.
Because you get each other.
And you can fall in love with anyone. Your surroundings definitely play a big part. I think DJ Envy, he lives in a white-dominated area, so he said he's kind of expecting his children to get with white people. And then Dr. Umar was like, no, you have to nip that in the bud. No, why are you going to allow your black son who suffered years ago? Like, he was all getting all technical.
What do you think about that, though?
But I hear him a little bit.
I don't think I do. But like that. Why are we still angry?
We still need to just... You know what's so funny, is that it wasn't that long ago. So I understand.
But it wasn't him. It wasn't them.
Yeah, of course.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
but it's their ancestors. So
but it wasn't him.
It wasn't him per se.
Then I'm vexed at Adam. Like, that was, do you know what I mean? Obviously, I'm vexed at so many people. I'm vexed at.
Fair enough, and you have every right to.
But then I don't have every right to hold that grudge still today.
You don't. But
opinion
I don't think it's unfair to say to him. That's how he
sees it. Yeah, it is his opinion.
No problem. Yeah. But I hear him. I don't necessarily agree with him to the T.
And hear his points.
Black people are the only people who went through a mad thing, and there's been no compensation. The Jews got mad peas after the Holocaust and all of them things. Yeah, and we didn't get nada. So, anyways, let's not even get into that, because that
it's
could,
almost like
that
so
could be
before I can marry
topic.
someone, that Donald Trump has to reimburse black people for their slavery. Because that's not going to happen right now, do you know what I mean? So I do get the thing. I get it, do you know, I'm not going to lie, I think we're just going to go. I think this is I actually get what you're saying, I'm just being difficult. I understand him, but I think some people are still so angry, and you can't nip something like that in the bud. It might be where she is more familiar with, like, oh yeah, but it's mad. I get it.
I get it. I don't necessarily agree with him.
You get it.
And Bob's your uncle, mate. Swiftly moving on, bro.
Yeah.
Question 3, and I think this is the last one as well. Yeah. So, what are your views on a prenup? So, before the success and post success. So let me just allude to this.
Whoa.
I'm with my missus. She was with me during the struggles. God forbid we got a divorce yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
She's entitled to some money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rich. I'm a billionaire. You jump on board. You are getting nada because I'm signing. You will sign a prenup. Wallahi, you will sign a prenup.
What? Whilst you're rich?
If I'm rich and I get with somebody, as a precaution,
Okay.
I'm making you sign a prenup.
I understand it. I get it, but I just don't think it. I think we've seen marriages such as
man, are signing that prenup, you know.
Definitely.
You have to.
Well, if you're rich already.
So okay, look at Michael Jordan. You think he's white? He didn't make his wife sign a prenup.
I guess with certain things, yeah, it is certain people as well. It's hard because you got someone like Michael Jordan. There are people that are coming at me for you're coming at me for the coin. Like, you're coming at me because you know that you can destroy me and just take all my money. However, I just see it as it's just difficult. I also see it a bit like, if you put your faith in God like 100%, yeah, you should never do something like that. That is actually disrespectful to God. I think it is. You're actually being disrespectful to God by doing that. And I get you're trying to secure, but I feel like even taking faith and going into something without signing a prenup, yeah, is faith. And even if your marriage does fail and your wife takes 50%, that's faith in itself, and God will reward you. Because who cares? Like, who actually cares? How dare you go into something saying that if you're not sure that you're going to? I'm talking about, I'm looking at this literally from the eyes of marriage. I've realised when it comes to marriage, I don't look at it from an aspect of anything else but Christianity, because I feel like that's the only way marriage is solid. If it's because
let me interject.
Okay.
I am not saying that I'm going into this, but then kind of I am, if I'm being real. When what I'm trying to say is, for instance, the Amazon Don, yeah, Jeff, what's his surname?
Jeff Blackstar.
Let's just say the Amazon guy, yeah. Mm-hmm. His wife was entitled to half of his P's because there would be no Amazon if she wasn't in the picture. She was his accountant or something like that. Uh-huh. So she deserves every single penny she got.
Yeah, okay.
Because of his wrongdoing. Yeah. He cheated, whatever. She deserves, I think she got 16 billion or something like that. So she deserves every single penny. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying now is, if he now gets with somebody, 110% he's making that girl sign a prenup. 110%. Mm. Because how do I know you are with me and it's genuine?
So then how, but at that point, if those are the questions, why are you getting married to that person?
You have to understand.
That's what I'm saying, I do get it, but why are you looking at marriage from that angle?
You know, basically a lot of guys look at marriage as it's like a business move.
But it shouldn't
very calculated. So, and it shouldn't. But, again, alluding to prevention is better than cure. I think for women as well, like,
100%. It's because the way
if
we're
a
looking at
woman
marriage now.
is up, she's got more P's than her fella. She gets married. She should also look at it like, okay, I don't want to get divorced from this guy, but in case it happens, you're not taking a penny. Now, it now gets complicated when kids come into the fold. Because what I don't like seeing is, cool, the divorce comes or whatever happens now, and then he now has to pay child support, and he has to give her a fee or figure every month.
Mm. I think. What do you think?
I think he should pay child support, and she should get a flipping job. You are no longer my responsibility. I'm only giving you money because we have children.
Yeah, but you need to support your child.
Which is what I'm doing.
Yeah, so I think that support is for the child. I'm coming. And child support. This is what I want to understand about child support. That why doesn't a woman have to pay child support? Does a woman have to pay child support? No, but then it's
whoever's making the most P's.
That's mad.
So if it's not mad. I don't want to say it's in most cases, but in some cases it's the guy. I
don't think it's mad actually, to be fair, because you should spend a percentage of your pay on your child. So in terms of child support, I completely get. When a child comes in, I actually think that even at that point it should be 50-50 because there's children. No, I think that. However, I understand you about the whole aspect of we've come into this and you like, especially if you're a big man. But like I said, we're playing with the idea of marriage. You might as well just have a boyfriend for the rest of your life if you don't trust marriage. I think marriage to me is not this marriage that people float through about. Marriage is a covenant between you, yourself, and God. And if you think you can break that covenant, you might as well not get into that covenant. So if you think there's a possibility of it not working, you might as well not. What I'm trying to say is I understand why people go into it with that thing. But if you've gone into marriage with the idea that it's going to not work, then you've gone into it with the wrong thing. Now, if it doesn't work thereafter, God would make a way because actually you went in it with a willing heart. But you can't go into marriage like that.
I get that you're
a Christian.
We're both Christians.
Yeah.
You're using faith, but I'm just realistic.
100%.
I'm just being real. Like if I'm a millionaire, I'm up, and my fiance wasn't there with my struggles.
Yeah, man.
Like, she doesn't.
It's hard.
I'm not saying she doesn't deserve a penny. Obviously, that's just me being whatever.
Real.
But I just think for her to be entitled to 50%, I think it's a bit deep. Like, why must she take
50%? Yeah.
Like Tiger Woods, yeah, fam. Tiger Woods, Mel Gibson. Fam, these are two examples of where, okay, cool.
Did they marry after?
I think Tiger Woods, he got with his wife post success, and she took 50%.
And do you know what? I wish there was some sort of calculation. This sounds very, very silly, but more so like a gross income, or I don't know, like what you make the year of marriage deducted.
So
there should be. Is that?
So they do that.
So like it's not necessarily.
So some people do that. So like post their marriage is what they will get 50% off.
Okay.
As opposed of the actual net worth.
Yeah, but you know what? I actually think, I feel like the institution, understands marriage. Technically, what happens in splitting that 50-50 technically makes sense if everybody went into marriage with the right mindset. What marriage is made for, people that I feel like the world somehow, or even laws, understand that a man is not a man without his wife, even if his wife has not done anything. Likewise, they actually do get that.
Okay.
Hence why I get why they give that. But if we understood that, and we understood what it really means for marriage and what marriage really is, then there wouldn't even be need for such things like prenups. But at the end of the day, I could imagine God saying, no, what was 50%? God, I feel like if God had a decision, he'd say, yes, if you want a divorce, you better give her 50% because you are only who you are because of the other person. So I feel like God would actually say that. And I know we're not talking in terms of the Christian eye, but I can't look at marriage if it's not in the Christian eye.
I
do you know what I mean?
Okay, let me ask you this question.
Okay.
So, Jennifer Hudson allegedly cheated on her husband with Marley Music.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I'm not speculating. I'm just.
It is rumored.
Yes. Now she cheated on her. Are they married? I think it's her husband or fiance. She makes more money than the fiance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because of her infidelity.
Yeah.
He's now taken her to court, asking for child support, as well as I forgot what it's called for. Okay, this money because she is the wealthier one out of the two. Jennifer Hudson doesn't want to do nothing, even though it's her wrongdoing. But if this was the guy, instantly.
We don't know that because we don't know what her mindset or her mentality is. But I do get what you mean.
I read a report. I don't know if that's true, but recently she declined his offer as.
Oh, you're saying if it was a guy, they'd instantly say that he has to give it. Oh, matting.
Of course. Like even recently, I saw some basketball player. He has to give his ex 100,000 every month. Child support and money for herself. Now the problem is, once they get a divorce, they still want the lifestyle.
Yeah.
At his expense.
At his expense.
You don't want to work. Obviously, you was used to that lifestyle.
It depends. It depends.
Real, man. Okay,
It depends on the I do get you, but at the end of the day, damn. Like,
no, but why though? Why is it at that guy's expense?
Because it depends on where we came
from. Forget about
cheating.
Because if it is only because he cheated, then I'd understand.
Okay,
if he didn't cheat and it just didn't work, why shouldn't she go work?
Let's do two things here. Let's avoid saying why shouldn't she, why at the man's expense, because it might not be the man's expense. But I get
that example.
Okay, this example. Now, it also depends on when this happened. Like, I get it a bit on the aspect that you've met me halfway through, and then after you want to live the life that I brought you out of anyway. Like, I was living my life, and then you've come halfway through, and then you want to live that life. I get that. However, me and you, who were grinding from before, that's our money. Full stop. Because it's not at his expense. It's at our expense. Because you would not have got there if it wasn't for me.
I agree with that.
Okay, fair enough. But you don't agree with the halfway through, the half cup. Yeah, I could understand that. I'm not gonna lie, I do understand that.
No, but even so, that is, I'm giving you money to look after my child. Let's say I'm giving you 100,000 every month. I know that 100,000 is not going to be used to look after my child.
But my child's sanity also comes with my sanity, baby.
But there are a lot of women, or some women. I don't want to say all because I don't want you on my case.
On my case, bro.
There are some women who don't want to go and work after the divorce. Still want that same lifestyle they were getting once the guy cheated on them or whatever. And I think that is wrong.
I think
Once the child is 18, the father should still take responsibility of the child because it's still your child. But in terms of agreed monthly payments, it obviously ceases once the child is 18. I just think women should. It's always every day go into court because they want more money. I want more money because of this. I want more money.
Yeah, because
go and work.
But you know what? This is what I'm saying.
If a man is giving you £50,000 every month to look after his child, Guinea, what more do you need?
I think this, for me, again, this is like, but this could be a whole video, I'm telling you, because in my mind, this again boils down to women and responsibilities and roles and stuff like that. I do believe that there were certain things that God has placed in us, and certain things that women are better at, and certain things that men are better at. And there are some people that can completely get rid of those conventional sort of ideologies.
Can I interpret?
But I believe
what I do think a man should do is, if they break up and he is the wealthier one out of the two, he should buy her a house because she's looking after your kids. The children tend to stay with the mother. Buy her a house and give her money to look after the child.
But you don't think you should entertain her lifestyle?
No.
You don't think you should buy into her lifestyle?
Why?
I've got nothing to do. Yeah.
Like, it's hard to say this, but
yeah.
No, I don't think I should be funding your life.
Yeah.
Like, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if I'm giving you $50,000 or pounds every month to look after, let's say we've got 2 children. I understand that 50,000 to look after 2 children a month is a lot. You're gonna have a lot of money
have some left over.
But to then, on top of the 50,000 I'm giving you, you still want more money. You're mad.
No.
And that's the case with a lot of these
women
in America. Say America more so, not over here.
Yeah. I hear you. I do hear you. I agree. I think it's touchy. It's something. It's just worrying. The only reason why I'd say I'm against prenups is because of the idea that it's almost like insurance, which means that you feel like you could potentially break. But that's only looking at it from the Christian perspective, I guess. So I understand completely why people go into things, especially I understand why they do it. I do. I just don't think that that's what marriage is.
So David is a millionaire.
Yeah.
And he's getting with you. He says, we are not getting married if you don't sign a prenup.
I won't be offended because I'll get it. I'll completely get it. But
you sign it though?
Yeah, I think I would sign it. I would sign it. I would. I'm just talking about me going into something. And the thing is, it's so scary, such a scary thing, and I wouldn't want to go into something. Let me make this clear. I would never want to go into something without signing a prenup. However, I just feel like doing that is making it clear that you do not trust.
It's a just in case situation.
Of course, it's a just in case situation, but even just in case situations, that's almost. Would you ever? I'm trying to think what Abigail could do to you that you'd be like, are you mad? Even though it's just in case, you'd be like, are you taking the mick? Are you taking the mick? Oh, I put my phone in your pocket on record, just in case you go out and you sleep with someone.
That's 2 different.
It's not though. That's why I don't see that as 2 different things, because obviously, what's the worst? What's worse? What's worse? Yeah, your boyfriend cheating on you, or your husband leaving you. What's worse? A marriage breaking. That's what I'm saying. So of course it's a just in case, but I feel like we've normalized the idea of not trusting. Like you're going into that not trusting. Like, if Abigail did that just in case, even though she does not want that, when you marry someone, yeah, and you sign that prenup, I know that's probably the last thing you want in the world, and you probably do not think that's going to happen, but you're doing it just in case, right?
Yeah.
The same way Abigail could put things in precaution around your house, just in case you decide to bring a girl home. And if you was to see that, you'd be like, are you mad? You don't trust me? Or are you talking about what you've got to lose as opposed to it? Because I feel like that's where the different factor comes in.
Okay, I'm a billionaire. I'm worth 1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
I get into a relationship at this point where my net worth is 1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
We've been together for 5 years. Things are not working out for whatever reason. Nobody cheated. I'm busy with work. You're busy with work. We just don't have enough time. The spark is gone. The connection is gone. I come to you and say, darling, this thing isn't working out. I think we should go our separate ways. You clearly agree, it's not working out, whatever. We then take it to court to get a divorce. You now want 500 million
Of that. Okay.
You're mad.
Let me ask you this question. A person comes here illegally. They stayed here for 15 years. They've been acquired to this lifestyle. Their family's here. Everything is here. This is what they leave. Deportation or the deporting immigration comes and they say they're going to deport them back. Doesn't that person have the right to argue that? Like, I can't go back to living that life. Yes, I get it. I might have come here illegally and it might not be the case.
What is your status?
What is your status?
You are an immigrant.
Yeah.
So you have every right to go back.
You have every right to go back, but you see how people fight it and they end up staying sometimes. I just feel like sometimes, but there's a lot of times. There's loads of people that end up, after you've been here illegally 15 years, then you go to get your papers, you get them. And what they say to them is that actually you've been here for 15 years without causing any trouble. Do you know what, we're going to give it to you. I personally just think that it should be allowed the same way. Okay, let's say if they did it the same way they did immigration, then I hear it. It should be something that can be debated. It shouldn't be a straight 50% goes, but it should be something that can be debated, because I've been here, I've been married to you for 15 years. Even though it's after that, I've got accustomed to this life, and now I should go back to being poor. That's mad.
No. What I'm going to say to you is, I agree with that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, post whatever. That's mad. Post whatever I make after our marriage, you are entitled to that money, because
you're just not entitled to 50%. Is what you're saying.
Of everything, because it's mad. No,
Fair enough.
I don't, and I'm saying it both ways. Like, if the woman is the breadwinner, makes more money. So, for instance, let's say Mona Scott, because I don't know she's the breadwinner in that household. If Mona Scott gets a divorce, I would like to bet that she has a prenup. I just think she has a prenup. I've got mad peas. Yes, you do all the I don't want to say mummy duties, but you're the house dad. You do all of these things, whatever. He should be entitled to some money.
Something, yeah, and a substantial bit, but not
at
50%. Okay, I hear that. I wish that it was just a law. Does that make sense? I wish it was just something that when it comes to it, because I think prenup scares the whole thing. Like, it's true.
Do you know what
hurts
me as well? Does
that make sense?
You know what hurts me during prenups as well is the woman gets everything. So the cars, the house, that why? But so we agree. We agree on that one.
We agree. What I say to the end of it is, I wish there was no such thing as a prenup. I wish it was almost like what happens. It's almost like, imagine if you had life, or I have these weird analogies, but if someone kills someone, you go to court and you sort out from there. It's just, that's what it is. We're going to sort out, we'll work out the years and stuff like that, but we'll go to trial. But I feel like with a prenup, it's like you have to put insurance. It's almost like before you can put someone in prison, you have to insure your child. That's almost like, are you going to insure your child? Does that mean that you think your child's going to die or whatever? Am I making sense?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I wish that with the whole marriage thing, it had nothing to do, like, there's no such thing as a prenup. When we go into it, if we divorce, we sort it out. It's cool. It's like, it's now time to sort out what the finances are.
It can never be like that. It's because it gets messy when it gets into a divorce.
But I think
especially when one person cheated. The other person wants to see the person suffer.
But that's the same with death and things that go in court, but they still sort it out. And I just wish it was that. The prenup thing is scary.
What I'm saying is, it's taken out of their hands because you're not making a decision. What I'm saying is, I just feel that when, let's say, a man cheats on a woman, the woman wants to bleed him dry because he is caused.
She's upset, grief.
This is it. So
and that's not
if you take emotions out,
it
can be done very quickly.
And
I
that's
can
why-
say to you, okay, cool, I'm going to give you 30 million and I'm going to pay you 30,000 every month. You're going to have the house in California. I'll take all the other properties. Keep it moving. No, the woman wants the house in this place, that car, this business, and then it becomes a problem. Like, you wasn't with me when I was shooting in the gym, so...
I think it's just
Allow
something.
it.
I think it's something that the judge should decide full stop. I just think it should be in that. Not
Even
full
that
stop.
as
Like
well is mad. Like,
no.
why should a judge be able to say my money
Nobody-
is going to be given to another woman? Why? And
because
let's
I wish
let's
people
be
saw
real as
divorce
well.
I wish people saw divorce as a crime.
The jury, more times there are a lot of females there. So
Not more times. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
okay, let's say
It should be an equal amount of men and women, and
it should be, but
never
okay, let's just
like
say hypothetically it is a female base.
that. Yeah.
Are you trying to tell me they are not going to envision
Favour the
them?
woman.
That's not. I can imagine myself in
Of
that
course.
situation. So what's going to happen? They're going to shag the guy.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Sorry about that. Just.
They're going to shag the guy. But
Yeah.
again,
No, I do hear that.
let's.
We agree. I think we
I
agree.
think, just to conclude,
Yeah.
that I understand why people get prenups.
Mhm.
I understand that it's a just in case situation, and I also understand why some people may not be comfortable signing it because it's like, rah, you think I'm only with you for the money,
yeah.
or you think it's gonna
End up like that.
end up in a divorce and so on and so forth. But on the flip side, the guy's just like, listen, at the end of the day, what's mine is mine.
It's mine, yeah.
You are entitled to whatever I have made post marriage, and life would be a lot easier if a lot of women and men agree to that.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind if my man was rich and he said he wanted to sign a prenup. I'll be like, you know what, that's fine. I get that. On the basis of I'll say something like, if you cheat though, I'll make if it's you that cheats and you want to leave me out dry, then the prenup.
Leaving out dry, I think in that situation.
But something like if we actually get into it and it doesn't work out, cool. But if it's on infidelity, but then again, it goes back to your thing. You're very, very right that a woman just wants to bleed you out. It's about emotion. So, but I hear it. I hear that emotion. I hear it. I hear it. No, because you don't take emotion out of the situation because emotions are there. So they're there. Where are we taking them? Where are they going? They are there.
Anyways.
But yeah, I think we agree-ish.
We agree. Now, thank you very much for watching another episode of Real Talks with Dr. Game.
Make sure you get your Shadiva fan.
Careful, Shadiva. Real Talks with Game and H. Been lovely. Make sure you like, comment,
And subscribe.
Peace. Thank you very much for watching today's episode of Real Talks with Dr. Game. For more content, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Peace.